shocked and awed, and my son looked at me and he was like, "Dad, why does everybody run?" And I said, "Because they know if they didn't run, they were going to get hit." And he says, "Why doesn't anyone do that today?" And I said, "Because they'll be sued, son." It was awesome to see. C is for Chris Adams. 86. I took some bumps, I got some heat, I took the super kick. After working with the gentleman, every night I tried to remember it's not so much which moves we do, but when they're used and why. Amen? Do we get an amen? D is for Danucci, who took me underneath his wing. He showed me endless patience, for I didn't know a thing. He took a kid with zero skills, no speed, no strength, no name. Together we did something right. We're both in the Hall of Fame. E is for Eric Embry. He pushed me in world class. He somehow built a monster heel from skinny arms and hefty ass. Each night it was an honor to be part of Devastation. I never did get paid too much, but I was seen in syndication. As Gary said, we weren't supposed to be pushed. We came up from Memphis as a team. We premiered at the Dallas Sportatorium in a 20-minute Broadway with Cowboy Tony Falk and Steve Casey. And for those of you who don't know, that is not an impressive debut. But the next morning on TV, something wonderful happened, and I am fortunate to be in one of the only lines of business, perhaps the only line of business, where getting your tires slashed in the parking lot is not necessarily a bad thing. I walked out and I found all 4 tires in my piece of crap Plymouth Arrow I bought from Mike Davis slashed, and I went to Gorgeous Tires and I don't know how I'm going to get home. Someone slashed all my tires, and Eric Embry walked over and said, "What did you say?" I said, "I don't know how I'm going to go." He said, "Not that, I don't really care about that." "What else did you say?" I said, "Someone slashed my tires." I said, "How many?" I said, 4. He said, "You're telling me someone slashed all your tires?" I said, "Yes, sir." He looked at me and said, "You've got good heat out there, brother." And the next day, at San Antonio at a spot show, and Gary came up and he said, "Hear the news?" I said, "What's that?" He goes, "They're putting us with ACK. And Scandal, Rack Bar, we're part of Devastation Incorporated." But we're turning on the rock. F is for the funker. My biggest pause here. F is for the funker. My biggest influence. The things we did seem foolish now, but at the time made total sense. When trying to invent new moves, I searched both near and far, then realized it would be easier to steal Terry's entire repertoire. I am basically a second-rate Terry Funk knockoff. As second-rate Terry Funk knockoffs go, pretty damn good. G is for Eddie Gilbert, one of wrestling's greatest minds. I hope that up in booking heaven, I'm considered one of Eddie's greatest finds. Back in 1991, we engaged in brutal wars. I wish he'd not been called so soon, so we could have had some more. H is for Stan Hansen, one of Giant Baba's biggest stars. He said, "If you get married, kid, nothing good can happen in a bar." But for me, it wasn't his single stuff or the teaming up with Brody that he did, but the loving way he talked about his family that made me want to have some kids. I, for Ivan Koloff, we called him Uncle for a reason. He treated all with equal kindness, be they rookies or well-seasoned. J is for Dwayne Johnson. Each move he made was consequential. We don't hear about him much these days, but that kid used to have potential. Very sad. Wrestling's great tragedies. K is for the Monster Kane. If you see this man, please thank him for giving hope to second chances. After all, he once was Isaac Yankem. L is for Bronco Lubitsch, who drove 50 in the fast lane. He told me stories of the old days and always would explain that it wasn't what you made, but what you saved that mattered. Now I'm known as wrestling's cheapest man. I hope he and Ack are flattered. M is for the Midnight, Sweet Stan and Bobby Eaton. Corny taught the master class on promos, heels, and cheating. Here's an unusual pick, okay? So hear me out. N is for Nasty Ned. He never was a cutie, but his facial expressions while getting swashed, oh, they were a thing of beauty. So thank you, Ned, and every guy who sold my stuff. Frogman LeBlanc, first ever clothesline over the top rope, completely out of control. The best clothesline I ever did. After that, I started protecting myself just a wee little bit. So thank you, Ned, Frogman, and every guy who sold my stuff. You're why I'm standing here today. After all, I've yet to see an elbow drop that worked in MMA. O is for Paul Orndorff. Watched so many times. His heel turn on Hulk Hogan was an awesome storyline. So imagine 10 years later when Paul asked to speak to me, he said it was our matches that gave him a final good run on TV. P for Roddy Piper. With two fans from sea to sea, Roddy pulled me aside waving, and he said that we had not spent much time together, but he'd been watching me and said I was a damn good daddy, and that's what mattered to RP. Q is for the Rougeaus, who both came from Quebec. There's not much to choose when it comes to Q's, so I figured, what the heck. R is Harley Race's turn. Time will not erase the pride I felt when I heard his voice say, "Kid, you're the next Harley Race." But I have to disagree with him because let me tell you something, brother. When it comes to being Harley Race, there will never be another. S is for Shane Douglas. He was Troy Martin when I met him. His help has been invaluable, so I don't want to forget him. So I praise him and I thank him, for not to do so would be rude. Certainly no way to treat so dynamic of a dude. T is for Tom Billington. I worked with Tom. This is the worst rhyme. That is my favorite, ready? So zoom in those cameras, right? You'll never hear these words rhymed again, right? Drum roll, please. I worked with Tom at 86. My jaw, he dislocated. My body bore the bruises from each place I was potated. It's not a mini rhyming dictionary, I know. I hope that some younger fans will look Tommy's matches up online. If I could choose a Mount Rushmore for pro wrestling, Dynamite Kid would be on mine. U is for The Undertaker. So let me be quite clear, without his presence in the ring, there's no way I'm standing here. I may never tweet the dead man. There are no texts or calls. But without my flight that fateful night, I'm not here. Right here in Wichita Falls. Leon White, the man we know as Vader. Opponents saw their names with his, they packed their bags, say, "See you later." I saw on at least 4 occasions young, hungry wrestlers sing their name on a blackboard Vader retiring from the business. But I hung in there. I took his best. I proved that I could take it. But after all these years, I'd like to say, Leon, next time, fake it. All right, something you have to use your imagination here. I'm going to describe a body part with words. It might get ugly. This is a true story. W is for the Welch family. Robert Fuller was a hoot. When I got my break in Tennessee, Rob wore a loaded boot. One night that boot caught up with me and I did the nesty plunge. My skull bounced off the concrete floor, my career almost expunged. When Robert saw the massive wound his boot had caused when Jared ducked it, he recoiled fast and damn it, Jack, I don't know whether I should stitch it or X. Let's hear it for the X's who've meant so much to many lives. X-Pac, X-Rays, Mr. X, and all of those ex-wives. Y is for gorgeous Gary Young. Who convinced me Bill Dundee would find it quite amusing if I fought him from my knees. True story, first day of Memphis TV, he said, Bill Dundee will get such a kick out of it if you challenge him on your knees. And I listened. He was wrong. Bill punched me in the mouth. But far from just a river, Gary Young was tried and true. I'm glad he's here so I can thank him. I learned every night from you. I say, no, not the best. Sorry, I think it's pretty good. Z. Who might have a name with Z? Did Lord Zoltan just yell out Lord Zoltan? I was going to take the cheap way out and use Z-Man or Z-Man. Instead, I went outside the box. Z is for super zodiacs. Z is for super zodiacs. Numbers 1 and 2. Remember those guys, Gary? They looked a bit like me and you. When Tim Brooks gave his notice, who's the killer? When Tim Brooks gave his notice, it was clearly understood we need another killer heel. Instead, they put me and Gary under hoods. Fooled a lot of people. They say a job worth doing is a job worth doing right. As Zodiac, I think I proved I could do 2 jobs every night.